Now, in an exclusive interview with GB News, Sir Keir Starmer has been giving some insight into what kind of Prime Minister he would be.
Yeah, actually, more importantly, he's been telling our political editor, Christopher Hope, how he would handle immigration and the threat from Russia.
He did not rule out launching nuclear weapons to protect the UK on a visit to British troops in Estonia near the border with Russia.
And the Labour leader also said that he would consider setting up offshore processing centres to deal with the surge in small boats.
So, Keir Starmer, we're here in Estonia on the Russian border. It's a short drive away. How safe is the UK under a Labour government?
Absolutely. Well, there's been an unshakable commitment to NATO ever since NATO was first created, which of course was under a Labour government. This is my second time here to this base. I'm here today to say thank you to the troops, to reinforce Labour's unwavering commitment to NATO, but also, of course, our unwavering commitment to Ukraine. And I've observed, I was here 18 months ago, here today, there's a real driving sense of purpose here with the troops that are here on the front line since that breach of the border into Ukraine just 18 months or so ago.
If you win power, will you increase defence spending beyond 2.12% of GDP?
Well, we will always keep to our NATO commitments. I think what you saw at the end of the last Labour government was 2.5%. So we're clear that the first duty of government is the protection of the country. And so we're very, very clear about that in terms of the resource that must go with that commitment.
And the ambition is for it to increase?
Well, when the last Labour government was in power, it was 2.5%. But, there is a NATO commitment here, which we will always make sure that we maintain.
How far would you be willing to go personally to protect the UK? Would you launch nuclear weapons at Britain's enemies?
I think that the nuclear deterrent is very important to us. Obviously, I'm not going to discuss with you the circumstance in which they may or may not be used, but it is a very important part of the defence of our country that we are strongly committed to, along with our commitment to NATO and to the security of our nation, which is paramount.
Well, listening to how he's speaking, you have to ask yourself, is he priming himself for the job of PM? Is he coming over as a future PM? Joining us now to discuss this, Deputy Leader of Reform UK, Ben Habib. Very good morning to you. What do you think of him sounding prime ministerial?
Well, I think Sir Keir is trying to do whatever he can to wrap himself in small c conservatism, which, lots of Labour voters are, disposed to, small c conservatism. And you saw the Union Jack behind him there, and you heard him talk about the need for strong defence policy and his preparedness, as you said, Anne, to set up offshore processing centres. Something he's turned his nose at before and refused to entertain. And we heard him the other day describe himself, pro-Thatcherite. So I think Sir Keir is doing whatever he can to allay the electorate's fear that actually this is going to be a swing back to, traditional Labour policies, which are even worse than the borrow, tax and spend policies of the incumbent government. So he is trying to paint himself as a prime ministerial candidate, and whether or not the electorate buy it remains to be seen.
And what do you make of the optics of this visit? Because it is all about the optics, isn't it? Sir Keir Starmer and the Shadow Defence Secretary, John Healey, we've just seen the images of them there, shaking hands with the troops there at the base in Estonia. We saw that quite traditional footage of Sir Keir Starmer, which we usually see a Prime Minister serving Christmas dinner to the troops in Estonia. He is trying to portray himself as somewhat of a statesman on this trip, isn't he?
He is, and, all credit to him for trying. But I'm not sure the British people buy it. If you look at the by-election results that have Thatcham and, the other one, Mid-Bedfordshire the other day, the Labour voters did not come out. The Labour vote in those by-elections were pretty much what they were in Tamworth in Mid-Bedfordshire. It's very early and odd in the morning. The Labour vote in those two by-elections was pretty much what they were last time round when the Tories won it. It's just that the Tories are staying at home. And I think that's why he's particularly trying to appeal to the Conservative side of the electorate, try and get them out and vote for him. And at the moment, of course, Reform UK, which is my party, is unashamedly small c Conservative, pulling on both the sort of centre-right traditional Conservative voters, as well as those vast majority of Labour people who are proud of the country, who want to promote the working class, who want to cut back on immigration. And he's got to somehow get through the middle. And even though the polls suggest that Sir Keir is quite a long way ahead of the Labour Party is quite a long way ahead of the Conservative Party, actually it's not playing out in the by-elections.
No, and one always wonders how it always plays out in a general election. Ben Habib, thanks very much indeed for joining us.